problem, but I wanted to have a look at this.
From the outset and throughout, this program contains strong language.
Hello there, my name's Lily Savage. Oh God, it's not Lily Savage, it's Paul O'Grady.
Bless.
Shit. Well, now you know. Feast your eyes at the man under the wig. Stood here in Liverpool, about to embark on a grand journey to the Orient in search of that deadly and well-known infamous prostitute, Shanghai Lily, the deadly white flower of the Orient. And my nose is running like a glassblower's arse. Don't expect nothing classy. Don't expect no Michael Palin. Don't expect no Judith Chalmers, no Anthea. None of that business, because you're not going to get it. Warts and all. Going to make Elton John look like bloody Marie Osmond.
Out jogging on a hangover. Yeah, I could never go out jogging on a hangover. Or, like, the best... We used to have the hangover... Like, because you'd all be out together, wouldn't you? So, like, what we used to do is we'd all just convene the next day. Like, you know, a lot of people would have slept at each other's houses and stuff like that. And we'd all convene the next day, and we'd have a particular place. For a while, it was a particular pub that did a wrap. So it was like all your Sunday dinner, but made into a batter wrap, like a big Yorkshire pudding wrap with all the Sunday dinner in it, and that was perfect. So we'd all go to this same pub. We'd order like 10 of them, however many, you know, we'd sit around a big table, all of us just like, oh, like rough, maybe a couple go out for a reefer every now and then, and, you know, bits and pieces, and then we'd drink about 5 or 6 pints, or I remember those days, it was however much money you had left. You know, sometimes you'd have to share the wrap, sometimes, you know, get a couple of pints, but you'd get through it, wouldn't you? And that was the last day of the weekend before you had to hit school or college or, or even, God forbid, work, you know, the next day as you get a bit older, but, we'd all get together for the wrap, and, you know, a different pub with, you know, different meal, different thing, different special offer, but whatever it was at the time. And like, it was a really weird part of the weekend, because the majority of the weekend is all the ups and the highs and the fun, but you kind of like, I want to say recuperate, but it felt a bit like a war hospital or something. You know, you'd kind of like vegetate together at the end of it. Just like, oh, like, no, there'd be a bit of conversation and stuff, but in general, people would accept. Like, if someone wanted to sit there and not say anything and just go like that, oh, then everyone would accept that and not pester them. Do you know what I mean? We all knew that we felt in the same sort of way, so we'd just like convalesce together. That's the right word, convalesce.
Side of the family, they were all sailors. Well, the men were, the women weren't. They'd often go on long voyages for about, well, sometimes for a year. And eventually when they did come home, of course, they bring with them all these exotic things from the east. They even brought a bush baby home once, which was lovely in the day because they're nocturnal, aren't they? And when my Auntie Annie went to bed, they wrecked the house, and she came down in the middle of the night in a nightie to stop it, and it ripped the glasses off her face. She just stood there screaming, couldn't see a thing.
I don't need the intro music sequence, but obviously this is Paul O'Grady's. This is called Paul O'Grady's Orient.
It took more than one man to change my name to Shanghai Lily.
This is Toby, your 24-hour butler.
I've got a butler.
You've got your own chef as well. Jack Ao Young, our
Welcome
chef.
to the tallest hotel in the world.
Thank you very much.
Your walk-in closet. You can see the view again, the best view of Shanghai now by the bathtub.
Look at the size of the telly.
Bless him. This is when he was just like, you know, he'd been Lily Savage, and now he's getting into the next phase of that career. Like, he's cool though. They're smoking on the telly. They're smoking. Robin Hood says the whole day off right now. You just kind of lie in bed and occasionally hobble to the kitchen or bathroom and back. For me, the end of drinking, there was lots of different things that contributed to the end of drinking for me, but one of them was I used to get smashed, and then I'd need to be sick the next morning sometimes, depending on how. I don't want to be, you know, crude, but you know, I need to be sick the next morning, and like I would need to just lie in bed. I couldn't. I would be so incapacitated by the night before that I. Yeah, 1, 2. No problem here. We should be back on immediately. Yeah. It's just my program got froze up. I don't know why. Don't know why. I was telling you that I got smashed and used to, get so smashed that I'd need to be sick the next morning and incapacitated and vegetated, yeah? I think we got that bit, didn't we? So that's what stopped me drinking, is because one of these weekends I was so smashed, I just got up the next morning to be sick and then gone back to bed, and I got at 10 o'clock in the morning, like, knocking on the door, and I just wouldn't answer it. If it was Amazon or whatever, fuck them, I'm not answering the door. Like, there's no answering the door happening for me. I can't get downstairs. So, like, I was in bed, like, vegging out from that. And she'd come from Poland. She was my ex-girlfriend, and she'd come to surprise me from Poland. So I didn't know. But when she finally, like, got me on the phone, and I was like, so, well, you'd have to sit outside for at least an hour or two because I can't come downstairs. Like, she had to, like, stay outside for basically the majority of the day. I was like, go away, just like go away and come back later because I'm not going to open the door. I'm not going to be able to make it downstairs. There's no, hospitality here. I'm being sick. I'm moving between bed and bathroom. And eventually, like, I pulled my shit together late that day, and like, she came over. We had a weekend. That was the last time I ever drank. Like, that was the last time I ever drank as well. I think I can't remember exactly now, but like, I couldn't operate a guest coming to the house on a random. Because I was so alcohol induced, do you know what I mean? I couldn't handle a guest coming to the house, and I was like, at that point, it was detrimental to my life as well in lots of other ways. So I don't drink anymore, just don't at all. Don't drink any alcohol. It's been like that for several years now, and at first it was difficult. I will admit, every time I watched the football, I wanted to crack a beer. Didn't know where to go and hang out with my friends because they're all drinking. Had to avoid the pub for a bit sometimes because it made me want to drink. Had to find something to do with my time at home because I wanted to drink. Used to spend evenings sort of playing FIFA and drinking, but now I'm not drinking, so FIFA's not as fun anymore because I'm not just whiling away my time being drunk. So what am I actually want to do? I had to face those things, like, what do I actually want to do? That's when I started making ASMR videos. And that's when I started basically on the YouTube journey. So you find something to fill the void, I think. That's the best way to describe it. And you do change your habits as well, because not being smashed means I don't necessarily need to be in a bar till midnight. And like, when I'm with my friends, and like, let's say I go out pool night and we go there and they're playing pool and we're having fun, everyone's having a drink and stuff, at the point where it's like, do we get a takeaway and go home, or do we go on and maybe go to the, late night Chicago Rock's closed now, but like, the next bar or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't, there's no more for me now. I don't want the next level. I want to go home. Like, when people start getting drunk and leery and rowdy and loud, and I'm not, I'm like, wow, like, I used to be part of this, and I used to be leery and loud as well, but now I'm not. I just don't want to hang out anymore, so I'll go home now. And at first it was a bit sad. It was a bit like, wow, like, I don't go to my local pub so much. I was an installation at my local pub. Do you know what I mean? I'd go there every other day. I'd go to my local pub, guaranteed. If you wanted to find me, I'd be in there. I knew everyone. Everyone knew me. Like, quite a lot of them probably still do, but it's probably a different crowd now that changes over time. But yeah, I stopped going there exclusively. Just stopped doing it, didn't I? So, pleased about it. It's been a benefit. It's been good. The only shame, I think, is it set some distance between me and a lot of my close family and friends who still drink and don't understand that little some of them do understand, and like, but even then, the ones that still understand, they still want to go out and have that next level, don't they, Minky? Yeah. If it's someone's birthday, everyone wants to go out and have a meal and then go on drinking and have fun, don't they? But I'm the only one that doesn't want to. So you don't want to go to your birthday party then? But I do, but I don't want to. Can we go somewhere else? Do you know what I mean? No, nobody else wants to go somewhere else. Everyone wants to go drinking. So there is that. But yeah, it's like smoking being banned in clubs. That's a good point as well. I sort of self-ostracized myself from the drinkers in a way, yeah. But smoking was like that, yeah.
Never really heard of Shanghai Lily, so I don't know. And
see, I think it's a Western thing then, because everybody in Shanghai says who.
Yeah, well, also, she may have existed, yeah. Or maybe she was famous bar girl in some bar in Shanghai that the Western people frequented, and she was a famous, who knows, femme fatale there or something. But it's not a common knowledge among the Chinese, and also I don't think probably nobody alive right now that would remember, even if she did exist. So I don't know. It may be a myth.
On the search of Shanghai Lily, our first stop, we've had it confirmed that she didn't. You can't find her, and you're not getting there.
I refuse to believe that Shanghai Lily didn't exist. What next? No Father Christmas? No Tooth Fairy? I know you're out there somewhere.
It took more than one man to change my name to Shanghai Lily.
That was part one of Paul O'Grady's Orient, in a way, although I talked through it and we went off on a bit of a tangent.
5:30 a.m. It's a beautiful, crisp Shanghai morning, so let's visit the park and watch the nice old ladies and gentlemen of Shanghai dance, sing, exercise and be happy. Oh look, a ray of sunshine.
So they were doing Tai Chi. I'd love to get into Tai Chi. It's one of the things, you know, there's a few things on my list of things I wish I'd do every day. Tai Chi is one of them. But some of them also look scared that if they don't do it, then the almighty emperor is going to come and murder them. So China's a bit different from our country, isn't it? So
let's visit the park and watch the nice...
That's not racist. That's a joke about they have this really strict...
So, ladies and gentlemen of Shanghai, dance, sing, exercise and be happy.
You're not allowed to criticise Chairman Mao, I tell you that.
Oh look, a ray of sunshine. My mother didn't go scrubbing steps to put me through the RADA, so I could be dragged out my bed at 5:30 in the morning to stand in a bloody park watching a load of people doing $6 million man impersonations.
Hello. What a genius. What a classic comic genius. Paul O'Grady, brilliant.
Sing, exercise and be happy.
Brilliant.
Oh look, a ray of
sunshine. I'm so glad we're watching this.
My mother didn't go scrubbing steps to put me through the RADA, so I could be dragged out my bed at 5:30 in the morning to stand in a bloody park watching a load of people doing $6 million man impersonations. It's called Tai Chi, and quite frankly I'm not interested and I'm not doing it, and that's it. Whether you like it or not, tough. I'm not interested. Get lost. Walked into the psychopath world of the Maudsley. Can't we get out to give me the creeps? God, I'm a miserable bugger of a morning. Never mind, stick with it. Things might change. Over here in the bushes here, just here, there's a gang of people doing something highly illegal in the bushes. It's not what you think. They rub up and down against trees and bang their heads on trees, and you're not allowed to do it. Don't know why. You're allowed to do that up there, but you can't do that in the bushes. Apparently, you absorb the energy out of the tree. It cleans your yin. I just go to laugh myself if I want to get rid of my yin. Yeah, look, he's belting hell out of that tree. Giving it what for? Saying, oh, you bastard, smack. Take all your aggression out. I go in the park and kick fuck out of that tree. Kick 10 bells of shite out of that tree. I hate elms. And you're going to get your roots kicked in, pal.
I hate elms, and you're going to get your roots kicked in. And he's, I can totally imagine as well, like, he's a lovely, like, you know, rest in peace, Paul. This is why I've got this on my watch list, is, you know, rest in peace, Paul. He's a lovely, lovely guy, but I wouldn't want to get up at 5 in the morning to go and start shooting stuff. Like, you know, if you get me out at early in the morning, I'm not going to give you my finest cheerful. So I could totally vibe with this as well.
Waterfront, this is the Bund, and let's face it, where there's docks, there's oars. When I was coming here 23 years ago, we were going to come by boat, but it takes, I think it's 4 days from Hong Kong on the boat. And since I was with a gang of very drunken oil men from Brown and Root, I was a mere innocence. I thought, I won't chance me luck. So we didn't, we come on the plane instead. And I regret it to this day, I didn't go on the boat. Imagine the time I'd have had. The folly of youth. Maybe. Get us a hot dog, I'm starving. Tell you what, I've got a bigger audience than the Grumbleweeds in Blackpool on a Wednesday matinee. Hello. They're all saying, we've seen him on Richard and Judy. What's that?
That's a hot dog.
It's not a hot dog. Where's the roll and the tomato sauce and the onion?
That's what she gave me when I asked for it.
They're all looking at me. Look it off, I'm trying to eat my hot dog. Well, that's foul. Maybe I can't think
that's foul.
Oh, God, no.
That's real.
Wild shits again.
You can see he's chewing it and he's got to eat it now. He can't spit it out. He's still got it in the side. He's like, that's foul. And you can see his face of disgust. There was a moment on telly once with Ant and Dec, right? Ant and Dec, they were given these cocktails. I don't know how this shit happens sometimes, but they were given these cocktails at the end of, it was, you know, Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. And they're doing the big finale at the end. I can't imagine which episode it was. I'm never going to find it, but somebody might if they hear me saying this. At the end of it, they gave them cocktails. It was like the big finale show. The last person came out, and well done for being king of the jungle, queen of the jungle, whatever. And you know, you were given everyone was given a drink, and they were there, and it was like, you know, seeing you off at the end of the show. And they had these cocktails, right? And they were like blue, like bright blue and like bright green or something weird. So you knew it wasn't right what was in those glasses. And they both drank them. Like there was like cheers, and they went like that. And they both drank like a good measure of these cocktails. And you could see on their faces that it must have tasted like lighter fuel and Dettol or something. Like, I don't know how they got the colours. Like, for TV, you just want bright cocktails, don't you? So they're probably not lovely tasty drinks. They were probably just bright cocktails for TV. And Dec, both of them, you could see in their faces like, right, the disgust and horror that they were drinking this fucking foul cocktail, and they didn't address it. Normally, Ant and Dec can just go, oh, that was horrible, or maybe they did, maybe they made a comment, but from that moment, for the next 10 minutes that was left in the broadcast, you could see them both struggling, like anyway, next on the ITV, you could, it was so funny. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on TV. One of the funniest things I've ever seen on TV. And there was another moment as well. We watched the Great British Cooking Show once, me and my sister. Again, this is years ago. Don't know if I'll ever find it again. But the person that they used to narrate it couldn't say cooking. They said cooking. Honest to God, they said cooking. And every 10 minutes it was like, and now the chef is going to be cooking some duck. And I was like, what? Every time we spotted it, me and my sister were like, what? And like, you couldn't, it was before you could rewind the telly. You know, it was back in the old days before you could rewind the telly. And we were like screaming with laughter. And they was like, you know, later on we'll be cooking cakes. And I was like, what? Almost as good as that time at Dog Club when the woman said, everyone can tell by the way I dress that I like dogging. Everybody knows, because the way I dress, that I like dogging. She said that. The dog teacher said it once.
God, no. I have the wild shits again. I would have... Yeah.
You have got a point.
You have got a point.
Okay, I'm going to do discreet.
To the bin.
Anyway, maybe I should try looking for a modern-day Shanghai Lily. Meantime, I'm still having trouble with the high-tech bathroom in Dalek Towers. But I've had 3 enemas and I didn't want one off the shower. Because there's a douche on the floor and you push a button and it's straight up your hoop. Ice cold. And then there's a thing down by your groin. Have you got the same? And there's one on my forehead. So switch the thing on. So your balls get whipped between your legs at 90 miles an hour. Your head gets split open and 10 ton of water goes shooting up your bum. It's not a pleasurable experience. I've had a bathroom since I was tucked to the bath. It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Now, Shanghai women have the reputation for being unique. What makes them so special? What's the mystery? What's the allure? I ask Wei Wei, who's the author of Shanghai Baby and various other soft porn novels, and Snow, Shanghai's Tara Palmer what's-her-name, only not as daft and a lot prettier.
I think I'm just the girl knows exactly what I want.
Shanghai woman is the most, intelligent.
Sensitive.
Their outlook is so elegant and so soft.
I think they're very beautiful.
They will use their eyes to kill men.
I like that baconette as well, I'll tell you what I've got.
Do you want to have sex with a Chinese woman, Chinese woman?
Talking about sex there now. I'll take these comments. I'll just take them. You saw a decapitated grey squirrel today at the side of the road while you're walking the dog. Proper gross. Snippy just sent me 1,000 tippy snippy bitties. Thank you. that's unpleasant. You've seen an animal, and yeah, you do see some. I'll tell you what, the worst one I ever saw. I don't know why, because in chat you've brought it up now. The worst one I ever saw is a taxi reversed over a pigeon, and for a minute there, the pigeon's back end, but the front end didn't know what was going on. It was like, hang on, this doesn't seem right, and then it was dead. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Goes on, doesn't it? I don't know why I brought that up. I shouldn't have reacted to that. I should have left that well alone.
I've drunk snake wine, I've drunk various monk's piss, nun's urine, I've drunk every muck you can get in a bottle. All the girls are here, if they're still standing, I'm still standing.
He's not, he's falling down the stairs.
Last words. I think he should have gone home hours ago, kid. Oh my God.
Massage, Carla, please, everybody.
I am not being massaged. I don't like being touched unless it's for sex.
No, fuck off. A bedtime story.
No, I must take me clothes. No.
I absolutely love it. Like, you can imagine on a show like this, you're out in China and things are going on, and your producers are there, and sometimes on the fly they're coming up with concepts for the show. You know, there's a massage, you're gonna have a massage, and he said no. Watching Paul reminded you of the script. I don't know why. Fair enough, though.
I am not being massaged.
I'm not being massaged.
I don't like being touched unless it's for sex.
No, fuck off. There's this woman as well who's like, you know, she's on the, you know, the party. She's like, oh, we're in the show with Paul O'Grady, and then Paul O'Grady's having one of his, not temper tantrums. He's not like, you know, but he's setting the law down. And she's thinking, what the fuck?
Massage, Carla, please, everybody.
I am not being massaged. I don't like being touched unless it's for sex. No, fuck off.
A bedtime story.
No, I must take me clothes. No. I don't know how anyone could say a massage was sexual.
He's got his clothes on.
Oh my God. Ow. God almighty, you're rough.
She's killing me, this one.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Okay, I'll tell you. Can you imagine that, though? I can't think of anything worse than being slapped on the head by someone like that. I just wouldn't want to. Yeah, I agree with Paul in this. Do you know what? I've had a few massages. I'll tell you a little cheeky story about the massage. Shall I tell you the cheeky story about the massage? Once we had a woman who was renting the upstairs room in my massage. I used to have a hairdressing salon. I used to rent the rooms. Sometimes try to rent the room. She was renting the room. She was the massage, doing massage therapy, renting the room. We had a few, so I'm not naming any specific names, but it wasn't the nice little Thai girl. It wasn't her. Anyway, we had this woman who was renting the room doing the massages, and I used to collect the money off her once a week. You know, she'd do her own business in that upstairs room, and I would collect the money off her. She got a professional looking bed and, you know, pinafore or whatever. That's up to her. You know, she didn't. I found that a lot of these people, they had to pay me the money at the end of the week because that was the deal, but they didn't do a lot of business sometimes. So, you know, but I had to be like kind of harsh but kind of nice. You know, sometimes I'd be like, all right, you know, I've been a tough week, eh? Well, you know, you don't have to give me all the money then, I suppose, but, you know, you really should be giving me this money, you know, and stuff like that. Well, this one week she was like, I don't really have the money, but would you like a massage to like top up the rent and whatever? And I was like, well, I suppose, like, you know, you can give me a massage and like I don't have to have so much of the rent money, but this is not really what I'm, you know, this is a one-off. And so she gave me the massage, and then after the massage she said, would you like to do the sex? For like, and then I don't have to pay the rent. And I was like, no, I would definitely rather have the rent money than do the sex. So we're not doing any sex, and I'm now getting up and leaving the room. And like, I think I made the right decision there, to be honest. She was attractive and stuff, you know, I could have done sex with her, but like, this is not, this, I don't want to, you know, that would, to me, it would feel like instead of me renting a room to somebody so they could run their business and I could have an extra income for my business, I would be sort of foregoing that in order to have sex with somebody who, like, in some way, I'm like, she's like a prostitute that I get to, like, I don't think that would be nice. I don't think that would be right. Would you like the sex? She didn't say it like that. She didn't say, would you like the sex? She was like, I got up after the massage and I sat up on the bed. Like, you get directed by these people, don't you? So I've got my clothes on. I kept my trousers on. I got my top off and all that though, and like, you know, she was like, and sit up on the bed, and then she sort of like crouched up really close to me, like, you know, kissing distance, and like, you know, tried to do the sex, and I was like, whoa, and she was like, well, we could do the sex, and like, again, she didn't say those words like that, but she was like, you know, we could do this, and then, you know, because I don't have the rent money, and I was like, well, no, no, definitely, I think she felt a bit cross about it. Can't blame her. I don't know. Like, if it wasn't about the rent money, we could have done the sex. Do you know what I mean? If like she wanted to go for a drink and we had a chat and then, you know, wanted to give you a massage and fruity you up and then like, ooh, sex. Like, I could have gone for that, but like, I don't pay the rent and you do the sex. That's not going down. What does that make me? What does that make me? That makes me into a sort of for me, that makes me into a sort of like pimpy sort of prostitute-y. You know, there's a money transaction involved. Oh no, a mimp. That makes me a mimp.